नमो ब्रह्मादिभ्यो ब्रह्मविद्या संप्रदाय ओम श्री नमो गुरुभ्यः सर्वोपप्लवरहितः प्रज्ञान प्रत्यगर्थो ब्रह्मैवाहमस्मि ब्रह्मैवाहमस्मि वेदान्तार्थविभासकाय गुरवे शान्ताय सन्न्यासिने नानावादीनगेन्द्रसङ्घभवये योगीन्द्रवन्द्याय च मोहद्वान्तदिवाकराय भगवत्पादाभिधाने तस्मै भाष्यकृते नमोऽस्तु सततं पूर्णाय बोधात्मने ब्रह्माहं यत्प्रसादेन मयि विश्वं प्रकल्पितं श्रीमत्स्वयं प्रकाशाख्यं प्रणौमि जगताम् यः परमात्मा जगत् सृष्ट्वा प्रविवेश पुनः स्वयं तं कृष्णं प्रत्यगात्मानं वन्दे गोपी मनोहरम् यस्य प्रसादादहमद्वयात्मा विश्वं समस्तं मयि कल्पितं च तं सर्वलोकैकगुरुं सदाश्री स्वयं प्रकाशं ज्ञानतोऽस्मि गुरूणां चरणां घोषं प्रणिपत्य निरन्तरं तत्कृपादेशु चिन्ताकौस्तु ममारभे ॐ शान्तिः 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 on page number 96. Now, in the commentary section, the fourth line from the top in the commentary part. Nanu vyashti sthula sukshma karanabhimanito vishvatejas prashya samsarana tan nirupitata. Now, so far, the Abhimani meaning the one who bears the identity. Abhiman. He bears the identity. So, the one who bears the identity of the three states. Which three states? Namely, the Jagrat, the waking state, the dream state, and the state of deep sleep. So, actually speaking, these are the only three experiences that we have: waking, dream, and the deep sleep. So, over here, the one who is available as the experiencer, and therefore as the one who has the identity of being the master, being the owner of each state. The dream fellow cannot own up your experiences of the Jagrat. The Jagrat fellow cannot own up the experiences of the Swapna. Can he say that, well, he can own up the experience of dream, but not of the dreamer. Okay. When he wakes up from the dream, he says, I dreamt. Okay. And the experience of sukha and dukkha of the dreamer belong to the dreamer only. He cannot wake up and say, I was dukkhi because I lost a job. And that in dream he lost a job. So he became very dukkhi. So when he wakes up, he finds what job I own my own business. I'm a big fellow. I will give job to 10 more people. I need not. I'm not the one who was crying over there. So the dreamer is significantly different from the waker, and both of them are absent in the deep sleep state. Yet the deep sleep state also becomes an experience. And since there is an experience, it will be owned up by an experiencer. Therefore, we have these three experiencers now. One, the experiencer of the waking state, the experiencer of the dream state, and the experiencer of the deep sleep state. And three names are given to distinguish them. The experiencer of the waking state is called as Vishwa. The experiencer of the dream state is called as Taijasa. And the experiencer of the deep sleep state is called as Prajna. So we have three names, three states, three experiencers. Each one of them own up his own experience. About that, now he says, samsarenaha. And these are all three what? Samsara is subjected to the experience of samsara. Samsarenaha. They are, what do they call? Subjected to the experience of slipping into misery. Okay, samsara. Samyak sarati, from one place to another. It keeps on going. Samsarenaha prang nirupitaha. They have been explained in our earlier discourses. Prang nirupitaha. Te kim swatantra jivaha house with ekaseva avastha visheshaha. Please tell us, sir, are these three different jivas, okay, different individuals, or are these three different states of just one person, of one jiva? So jiva in the waking state is called as Vishwa. In the state of dream, it will be called as Taijasa. And in the state of deep sleep, then it's called as Prajna. You please tell us, sir, out of these two options, which one is workable? To consider all three of them as three separate jivas, or they are one? Though there are three, these are the three different states of one person, of that one individual. What is that? Ahos with ekaseva avastha visheshaha. So now he answers that first query. The query wherein the first option is that, let us, by considering them as three different individuals. Now that is taken. Nadyaha. The first option seems not to be acceptable. Nadyaha. Adya means the first one. No. Na adyaha. Sarvesham swatantrataya paraspara bhedabhyupagame सुषुप्ति स्वप्नयोः अनुभूतस्य पदार्थस्य जागृतावस्थायां विश्वस्य स्मरणाभावप्रसंगात्. Okay, so if you are going to consider them, why we are not, why do we don't accept your first suggestion that considering them as three different individuals? Why don't we accept that? So he gives you a reason. He says now, Nadyaha sarvesham swatantraya paraspara bhedabhyupagame. Now, if we consider that there is a mutual difference in all the three, and therefore all the three are separate individuals, then just even if we consider it, okay, hypothetically, if we consider it, then what happens? Paraspara bhedabhyupagame sushupta swapnayoho anubhutasya padarthasya jagrat avasthayam vishwasya smarana bhava prasangat. Then whatever is experienced in the dream or in the deep sleep state, the waker should not remember. The waker should not remember the experiences of the dreamer and of the deep sleeper. But this is not true. The waker definitely wakes up to remember that I dreamt I was drowning in water. I dreamt I had a great time in the dream. There was a party. Food was great and I was with my family, so on and so forth. A dream experiences are remembered by Vishnu. Then even the experience of the Taijasa, of absolute silence, of darkness, is also remembered by Vishwa. If Vishwa was to be absolutely different from Taijasa and Prajna, how would he remember them and own up the experiences as his own? Do you understand? You see this? Because if there are two separate individuals, Mr. X, Mr. Y, Mr. X cannot say that the experience of Mr. Y was his experience. No matter who he is, he can be the Prime Minister. Yet he cannot say that experience of Mr. Y is his experience. No. But over here, Vishwa claims the experience of dream and also the experience of the deep sleep as his own. Okay? And therefore, Vishwa, he should not have remembered. But on the contrary, what do we find? That yes, he remembers and he owns them up. Okay? Anya anubhuta padartha smarana yungat anyatha ati prasangat. So over there, yoga is there. There is a typo. Those who want to rectify it there and then, they should do it. How it will be? Anya anubhuta padartha smarana yoga anyatha ati prasangat. That anyasya is there written. That is just remove that. Anya and the sa is also half with one comma. That is total typo. Yoga anyatha ati prasangat. Since a person who cannot remember somebody else's experience, but over here, since I remember the experience, the Vishwa remembers the experiences of Taijasa and also of the Prajna, you cannot call them as three different individuals. And if you still insist on calling them as three separate individuals, then there will be ati prasanga. What will happen? That it will be Ati prasanga. Ati prasanga means something which is so absolutely illogical and yet forced. So ati prasangat nadyaha. Because of this reason, so Vishwasya smarana bhava prasangan a anyatha ati prasangan two. These are the two reasons because of which the first option is not acceptable. What is the first option? To consider them as three separate individuals and then we are done. No, they are not. So now, tasmad dvitiyaha. And therefore, what we are left with is the second option. Now let us look at it. Second option, by considering that what is the second option? That all the three belong to the one, but these are three different avasthas. What are they? They are three different states. And because there are three different states, this one in each state then gains a different name. For example, when you are in the office, you are the officer. When you are driving, you are the driver. When you are cooking, you are the cook, not cooker. Okay, so you are the cook. So now the cook, the driver, the officer, all the three are three different names of the same individual with reference to three different states. Correct? This is the second option. So Vishwa, Vishwa, Tejas and Prajna are the three different names of the same individual, same Jiva, with reference to three different states. Avastha Vishesha. Okay, now. Tasmat Dvitiyaha Parishishye. So Parishishya Nyayat. Parishishya Nyayat means now what you now since the last this is the last amongst all the other options are not there. Therefore, finally, this is what I am left with. Parishishya. Okay, so Parishishya, Parishishyate ityartha. Eka eva iti. Eka eva. So in the from the Mula Grantha, Eka eva jivo Jagrat avasthayam sthula sukshma karana vidya bhimani san vishvaiti uchyate. Now, the whole background of offering the two options, then wiping out the first option, and Parisheshat, now what is left is the second option, was created by the commentator so that this part of the line can be understood from the Mula Grantha, from the original text. What is that line? Eka eva iti, eka eva jivo, jagaravasthayam sthula sukshma karana vidyabhimani san vishva iti uchyate. Very, don't treat this very lightly. This is a very nice sentence. Short but nice. Otherwise, we generally become a little inadvertent, like how rest of people have become thinking that, oh, well, every morning farm will be to talk the same thing. What that means. So they're flying off somewhere. I don't know. Now, when will this Jiva be called as Vishwa? Now, this one individual, when will he be called as Vishwa? If you are going to say he is the Vishwa, only when he identifies himself as the waker, experiencer of the waking state, the owner of the waking state. So when he identifies himself as the waker, That is how we simply are going to say. But the Shastra says, no, he is not simply the Abhimani of the waking state, just like that. But in the Abhiman, in owning up the waking state, he owns up even the other states too. Okay, how? Because he becomes the Abhimani of the Sthula, of the gross, subtle, and the causal. All the three together, he is called as Vishwa. Not only when he is the Abhimani of the gross world, gross body. No, when he is the Abhimani of the all three. Okay? So Sthula Sukshma Karana Abhimani San Vishva iti uchyate. Now he is called as Vishwa. So just he is not the maker, or what do you call it? The Vishwa means just does not mean the one who owns up the experience of waking state. No, just not the waking state. It is not segregation from the Swapna and Sushupti. Rather, he owns up the whole thing. Got it? And therefore he is called as Vishwa. So don't forget that. Jagrat avasthayam sthula sukshma karana avidya abhimani san Vishwa iti uchyate. In the state of waking experience, he has the abhimana, he identifies with the gross, the subtle, the causal ignorance, and then therefore is called as Vishwa. Okay, he will be now called as Vishwa. Now, ayam bhavaha asango udasinaha pratyagatma avidyatmatvena upagataha. Okay, in between. Now in the original text back. Sa eva swapna avasthayam sukshma sharira karana avidya abhimani san taijasa iti uchyate. Now the same one in the state of dream, he owns up the experience of the subtle world or the subtle body along with the avidya, the karana avidya. Okay? Karana avidya abhimani santaijasa iti uchyate. Now this is how he has already dropped the identification with the gross body. And therefore, over here there are only two places whose abhimana he carries. There's the same fellow, but he has dropped the abhimana of one. Sa eva sushuptau, the same one in the deep sleep state, karana avidya abhimani san rashya iti uchyate. And then in the state of deep sleep, karana avidya abhimani, he holds up the experience of causal ignorance. Owns up the experience of causal ignorance. Naham brahmaiti. Okay. San prashneti uchyate. Now over here, so I don't know. I don't know. Sa eva sushuptau karana vidyabhimani san prashneti uchyate. Now he is called as prashna. Ayam bhavaha. What is the meaning of this particular final sentence? which talks about the deep sleep state. What is its significance? He says, Ayam Bhavaha in the commentary. Asanga udasinaha pratyagatma. How is this inner self? Asangaha, unattached, asangaha, unattached, uninfluenced, untinted by anything. Udasinaha, and as if seated above everything. Unaffected, unattached, asangaha, udasinaha. Seated above means unaffected. Pratyagatma, actually he is the inner self. Avidyatmatvena upagataha, but now identifies with the ignorance. Identifying with the ignorance, he becomes I am ignorant. I didn't know anything. I mean I am ignorant. I don't know, I did not know means I am ignorant. So pratyagatma vidyatmatvena upagataha. So now this Atma, what does he accept? The avidya is accepted as if embedded in his nature. Atmatvena upagataha. Then prajneti uchyate. Thus when he owns up the ignorance, then he is called as prajna. Then he is called as prajna. Saeva Sukshma Shariraatmatvena Upagataste Taijasaha. When this prajna, who so far has owned up only the ignorance, along with the ignorance owns up the identification with the subtle body, then he will be called as Taijasa. Now going up, coming down, both the ways the teacher is showing us the path, the commentator. So when is he the prajna? When he owns up the avidya as belonging to him, as in his own nature. Atmatvena upagataha. Now along with this, he also accepts the subtle body, atmatvena, as if the psychology, this mind, etc. is me. And therefore, I am happy, I am sad, I am delighted, I am frustrated, I am angry, I am lusty, I am so calm, clothed, everything. With all that, he owns it up as his. So subtle body is owned up, and therefore he is now called as what? Taijasa. Sa eva sthula shariram atmatvena upagataha vishvaha. And when along with the avidya, along with the subtle body, which is accepted in his definition as the self, he accepts even the gross body in the orbit, in the definition of his I. And when this happens, now this self is called as Vishva. So now we know when this Asanga Chidatma, this Asanga, unaffected, unattached Pratyagatma is called as Prajna. When is he called as Taijasa? And when is he called as Vishva? Okay? Sthula Shariram Atmatvena Upagataha. When Atmatvena only Avidya is Upagataha, he is Prajna. Along with Avidya, when he accepts the subtle body in the definition of I, he becomes Taijasa. Along with the avidya and the subtle body, when he accepts the gross body in the definition of the self, he is called as what? Vishwa. Okay. Evam Vishva Taijasa Prajnaha प्रत्यगात्मनः एकस्यैव अवस्था विशेषाः इति इमम् एव अर्थं स्पष्टयति. Now therefore all these three are three different states of one Pratyagatma, are the three different states of one individual. Pratyagatmanaha ekasya eva pratyagatmanaha avastha visheshaha. These are the three states of the inner self. Iti imameva artham spashtayati jagrata avasthayam iti. Now, something very important is going to be delivered. Arthat. Now, what is the point of this entire exercise? Arthat anena tvam padarth shodhana upaya anvaya vyatirekau darshitau. This is the point. What is it? Arthat. So now, obviously, Arthat over here means obviously. What is the point of all this exercise? So he says, Tvam padartha shodhana. Now, upaya. Now, there is some method to be employed to do the padartha shodhanam. Huh? What is that padartha? Padartha does not mean item in the food plate, something. Maharashtrians also call that as padartha. It is okay. But so the meaning of that word padartha is padasya arthaha. What is it? Padasya arthaha. Pada means the word. And the object illumined by the word is the artha, and therefore it is the padartha. Padasya arthaha. Okay. Or consider this way. Pada is the word, artha is the object, and padartha is the knowledge. Let us put it this way. That will make things little easier. Padartha shodhana. What are we looking at? Padartha shodhana upaya. Because in the sentence we have these words tat, tvam, and asi. These are the words. Now, in order to understand the meaning of the sentence, we will have to have the meaning of those words available to us. And when those words, the meaning of those words are available, then when the sentence is spoken, the sentence is capable of generating knowledge, of letting you know something which was unknown to you before and which is irrefutable, and therefore it is knowledge, and therefore now this knowledge which is generated by the words is the knowledge which can eradicate avidya, ignorance. Okay, that is the point. So padartha shodhanam has to be done. Which padas are there? Tat pada and tvam pada. Now, in order to finally arrive at the meaning of the words tat and tvam, we have to do some verification of the meaning of those words. Verification of the meaning of those words. So this verification is then called as the padartha shodhanam. What is it called? As padartha shodhanam. So this method which we just saw tip of it today about the Vishwa Tejas and Prashya. This is the method which will be used to come to the clarified understanding about the word Tat and Tvam. Okay? But presently it is only the Tvam Padartha that we are thinking about. So Arthat Anena, by the process which we have just been introduced to, it becomes Padartha Shodhanopaya. It is actually, that process is the method to understand the true meaning of the word Tvam, the true meaning of the word you. Okay, you. When the speaker says you, the understanding which arises in the listener is I. So now, with reference to this word I, this is Ha Padartha Shodhanopaya Anvaya Vyatireka. This is Anvaya and Vyatireka Darshika has been shown to you. We will have to stop at this point today also. And so remember this Vishwa Tejas and Prashya. Contemplate on this, and we will come back to proceed from where we have left. Om Brahma Prasadena Mai Vishwam Prakalpitam Srimad Swayam Prakashatyam Pranamami Yah Paramatma Jagat Srishtva Ravivesha Swayam Krishnam Natyagatmanam Vande Gopi Manoharam Yasya Prasada Matmayatma Vishwam Samastam Kalpitancha Tansarvagam Aikam Sadashri Swayam Prakasham Gurunahanatosmi Gurunam Sharanam Kosham Pranipatya Nirantaram Prapaleshu Vaita Chintaatmastu Om Purnasya Purnamadam Shishyate Om Shanti 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 Shankaram Shankaracharya Narayana Sudra Bhashya Ishvara